Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Stenbocki House. Now, short statements by the Prime Ministers of Estonia and Georgia. Prime Ministers of Estonia, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon. It is an honor to host my good colleague, Prime Minister, here in Stenbocki House. You are very, very warmly welcome here. The bilateral relations between Estonia and Georgia, I could say, are excellent. In June, we celebrate 25 years of establishment of our diplomatic relations. We fully and constantly support the territorial integrity and sovereignty of Georgia. It should not be forgotten that a big part of Georgia is still occupied by Russia. I'm extremely glad that Georgians were granted a visa-free freedom with the EU. It is a good achievement in EU integration and remarkable achievement by the Georgian government and also your people. Eastern Partnership is a long-standing priority for Estonia, and we want to strengthen it during the Estonian presidency of the EU Council starting in July. As you know, the upcoming Eastern Partnership Summit in Brussels is scheduled for November 24. We will have to work on high-level participation in the summit and as well as deliverables. I've also encouraged my good colleague to use the tailor-made solutions provided by the Estonian Center of Eastern Partnership, even more in advancing reforms in Georgia. Our cooperation in areas of defense, education, e-governance, and also EU issues is excellent. At our meeting, we also discussed how to boost the economic cooperation between our two countries. I believe there is great potential for that. Adoption of the Estonian tax system is a good example of that, and yet we need to increase mutual investments too. It is great that you are here once more. Thank you.
And now, Prime Minister of Georgia, please.
Thank you, Prime Minister. It is a great pleasure to be here in Estonia, a prodigious friend of Georgia. This is my first visit in this capacity, but before this, I had a pleasure to be here many times, but first visit was 31 years ago as a Soviet soldier. I spent 2 years in Estonia, and one thing I remember best was a very special spirit that united Estonians and Georgians, and that spirit was a very strong spirit of independence. I would like to start with congratulating you on the forthcoming EU Council presidency. This is a challenging task as it comes at a defining time for the future of the European Union. Therefore, we wish you all the success to accomplish the shared vision of a united Europe. We welcome Estonia's support for the Eastern Partnership, which will be one of the priorities of its presidency. We all look forward to the Eastern Partnership Summit in Brussels in November, which we expect will ensure practical deliverables, but also set a forward-looking vision for progressive development of our relations. Estonia is one of the steadfast supporters of Georgia's European integration. With this support and our joint efforts, Georgia has been advancing on its ambitious association agenda with the European Union. Introduction of the visa-free travel is a vivid example of our successful cooperation. Taking this opportunity, I would like to thank Estonia and Prime Minister of Estonia for supporting Georgia on this very difficult path. We are fully committed to further intensify reforms in order to bring to our citizens the practical benefits of the association with the European Union. This year is also important in our bilateral relations. We celebrate 25 years of establishing diplomatic relations between Georgia and the Republic of Estonia. The results of our long-standing friendship and strong partnership speak for themselves. We are proud that our relations are flourishing in every direction, and as a consequence, our economic relations and trade figures are expanding. Last year, we have observed 21% growth. We welcome increased Estonian investments, especially in energy sector and increased export of Georgian wine to Estonia. We are very glad that number of Estonian visitors is growing every year. I'm confident that the visa-free travel recently introduced for Georgian citizens will further intensify people-to-people contacts. Also, it will enable Georgian citizens traveling to Estonia to see the first-hand results of European integration. I am especially pleased that our cooperation is in line with the four-point reform program of the government of Georgia. Tax legislation reform that has been implemented in accordance with the Estonian model is turning out to be very successful for bringing new dynamism in Georgia's economic development. Promotion of entrepreneurship, e-governance, education reform. At the same time, we witness most frequent exchange of high-level visits and unprecedented cooperation between the agencies and the line ministries. Estonian experts operate in almost every sphere and contributing to the capacity building of our civil servants. More and more Georgian students choose Estonia as the study and research destination. This is particularly positive as eventually these students are destined to become cultural ambassadors of Estonia in Georgia. I would like to once again underline that Estonia serves as a role model for Georgia. I would like to offer our most heartfelt gratitude for being our friend and partner through all these years and being supportive to every our effort, including to our NATO integration agenda. We have, of course, discussed the grave security and humanitarian situation in the occupied regions of Georgia and aggressive steps by the Russian occupation forces towards the factual annexation of the regions, including the closure of the so-called crossing points along the occupation line in Abkhazia, illegal referendum in the Tskhinvali region, and the so-called elections in Abkhazia and Tskhinvali region. All these events once again prove the need of international presence in both occupied regions of Georgia and the full implementation of the 12th August 2008 ceasefire agreement between Georgia and Russia. I would like to once again underline the commitment of the government of Georgia to continue the peaceful conflict resolution policy. Also, I would like to take this opportunity and express our gratitude to the government of Estonia for the strong support of Georgia's sovereignty and territorial integrity that Estonia takes especially close to heart, since Estonians historically living in Abkhazia, Georgia, from 19th century were forced to leave their homes as well. Once again, dear Prime Minister, I would like to thank you for your hospitality. I would like to thank you for supporting Georgia throughout this difficult path, and I would like to express our hopes that our economic cooperation and our cooperation in many areas will broaden further, and I would like to officially again reiterate our invitation, personal invitation to visit Georgia at your earliest convenience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is all for today. Thanks all for coming.